Welcome to your Cochrane Right Now. This is a weekly podcast all about the best town in the world, Cochrane, Alberta. Springtime is coming, and we just came off April Fool's, Lauren. So my name's Eric Rettel. This is Lauren Meister. And Lauren, were you got by anything with April Fool's?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. I don't know if anything really got me this
The horse
year.
trails?
Right? I mean, I don't think it really got me. I did make me go, for a second. And I thought it was really clever and really funny. Also, I think that'd be really cool. I don't think, are horses not allowed on the trails?
So we'll backtrack. There was two big jokes going on with April Fool's here in Cochrane. One was ours, and we'll get to that in a second. The other one was by the town of Cochrane, the Stockman's Memorial Foundation, and by Cochrane.
Right.
And they changed the signs for the bike paths here in Cochrane saying horses only, no more bikes allowed. And they did a really cute video as well. Now back to your question. Are horses allowed on the trails? I'm going to guess no.
But I don't know for sure. Do you actually know that for a fact? Have you looked in the bylaws?
I haven't looked in the bylaw.
This is actually a legit question. I wonder.
Could you ride a horse around Cochrane right now?
I've seen a couple people ride horses.
They're usually I know some by the sawmill, actually. They ride near
I've seen them there.
area.
I've seen them up in Fireside and Riversong before.
But just our pathway system, along the bow, just moseying along. Horses are big.
Horses are big.
And there's a lot of kids and stuff. I think that would be a danger.
It's probably a safety hazard. But I mean, I think it'd be kind of cool.
Well, let's try. Let's see if we can.
Environmentally friendly.
I truly believe you would get in trouble.
Yeah. Maybe we should try. Do you have a horse?
I do not have a horse. Do you have a horse?
No, I don't.
No,
but maybe
not
somebody
quite.
would lend us a
Yeah,
horse.
exactly.
We could just go see. I mean, the mayor was riding a horse.
Exactly.
He didn't get in trouble.
Was he riding the horse and the bike? Was it him in both shots?
Yeah, and then he put a saddle on his bike.
Oh, spoilers. Wow.
That's pretty cool. How do you fasten that to that?
But they put a lot of effort into this joke. I'll give them a heads up because they let us know they were working on this about a month in advance. They're like, hey guys, do you want to be in on it? And we're like, of course we do. And they were having a ton of fun with it. So it's really cool that it all came together.
Yeah, very, very cool. Yeah. They've done some pretty fun ones in the past too. So it's kind of fun watching that. And they got a lot of great feedback with that one.
So looking at them, they planned this for a while, and then looking at our joke. So the joke we put out was the Saddledome has named Cochrane as its new location. I'll be honest, you weren't feeling good on the Friday going into the weekend, which had April Fool's Day. And you called me and you're like, are you doing an April Fool's Day joke? And I was like, oh yeah, I don't know. Am I? And you're like, yeah, you should put something together. Okay. Took me 10 minutes.
Yeah.
10 minutes to find a picture of the Saddledome, drag it over to Cochrane, kind of blur some lines, and off she went. But people enjoyed it.
Well, and that's typically how it goes for your April Fool's jokes. So, we got really good feedback with that one, too. I think that people just know that we do April Fool's jokes, so they don't even fall for them anymore.
No.
And so people just knew right away that this, not a chance would this happen. And but they thought it was really funny. So we got a lot of feedback, a lot of people from outside of Cochrane thinking that was really hilarious. Yeah. But we were actually talking to one of our newest coworkers this morning who was living in Vancouver 2 years ago when we had the Disneyland joke. And she said that her yoga instructor went to her that day on April Fool's Day, 2020, 2021, whatever year that was.
Yeah, I don't remember. It all blurs together.
It was 2 years ago.
If it was 2023, so 2021.
Yeah, I guess it was 2021. Yeah. And her yoga instructor said, hey, did you hear Cochrane, Alberta is getting Disneyland?
Yeah.
And our coworker, Corianne, she's like, I don't think so, because she's from the area originally. She's like, that's got to be fake news. That cannot be true. And
it was fake news. Yeah,
it was fake news. And anyway, it all came to light later in the day that it was indeed an April Fool's joke. So she just told that to us just a couple hours ago here this morning, and it just made me laugh because it's we didn't know her. We didn't know her until about a month ago. No. And we're still hearing stories about this ridiculous joke.
And that is exactly what happened with the Saddledome as well. Everyone was saying, oh, are they going to build it next to Disneyland? Disneyland is the big thing. I'm sure people still get comments on it. If you Google Disneyland Canada, that's the story that pops up.
It pops up.
And for us living in town, I photoshopped the Disneyland sign over Highway 22 and the 1A intersection.
Yeah.
Poorly. Anyone living here would be like, why would they put the sign there? That makes no sense. But if you're not from Cochrane, you don't know us that well, you know we have land around us, hey, we could probably sustain a Disneyland. I truly believe that.
Oh, I think people would come.
Right?
Right?
If you did all the land like west of Cochrane. So you kind of put Heartland at a standstill, like boop, and then just Disneyland. We might be okay.
Could you imagine the 1A22 interchange if we had Disneyland there?
It's going to be fine. Maybe that would hurry all the work
all the
up,
construction.
right?
They'd have to get going with it all.
Mickey Mouse money gets put in, bam, it's done in a month.
It'd be done, so quickly. Think of all the interchange things and clover leaves they'd have to put in.
Oh, man. Well, it was a ton of fun as well. And we'll see what I come up with last minute for next year. Who knows? Maybe I won't even do one. That will be the joke.
I think you might need to throw people off a little bit and just not do something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or do it the day before.
We'll have to see. Who knows? Who knows what we'll remember in a year. And Lauren, what is your favorite kind of lettuce? Go!
Ooh, definitely romaine.
Romaine. Is that the one in the ball?
No, that's iceberg.
That's other ones.
Romaine's darker leafy, which is very good heart health. Leafy greens, right?
You know your
lettuce.
lettuce.
Oh, yeah. What's your favorite kind?
I don't know. What do they make Caesar salad out of?
Romaine.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
That's a great lettuce. And did you know we are growing lettuce year-round here in Cochrane?
I heard something about that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who knew you could grow lettuce in Cochrane, let alone in the wintertime?
Well, exactly. Our growing season here in town is 3 weeks?
If that.
So there is actually a super high-tech farm called Good Life Farms, and they transferred 2 sea cans, those giant storage things that you see on ships, 2 of those with high-tech everything, and they've been growing lettuce like mad.
That's cool.
Now, I looked into a little bit. The one question, of course, is I want to buy this lettuce. It's high-tech lettuce. Who doesn't want this lettuce? It looks like they donate it right now, sell to a couple of restaurants here in town, and if they can up their production, they would sell to us here in Cochrane.
So you can't just go there and be like, hey, I want this really cool lettuce. You still have to buy your lettuce from the grocery store.
Yes, but they do tours, which I found out as well.
Oh.
And you can't do a lettuce tour without tasting the lettuce.
Well, I was going to say, as you walk along, you can just grab a handful and, right? That's fair.
No, it's not fair. You're that kind of grocery shopper. Are these grapes good? Oh, it doesn't cost any money.
Right?
No, that's bad. You're stealing. No,
but these ones would be better than the grocery store because they're going to be less pawed at, right?
Well, exactly.
Less
and
germs.
The grocery store ones, you got to imagine, they come from somewhere.
Who knows
BC.
where?
Where did you grow lettuce?
China.
I don't know, right? That's just right over there. So
totally. Less
hopefully
chemicals.
they open that store soon, or maybe they'll start putting them in. Have you ever went to that non-manned farmers market in Heartland?
No, but I keep on hearing about it, how you just go into this container basically, and then you just pay for stuff.
Yeah.
And
there's just vegetables in there.
You've been there?
Yeah.
I don't ever go over there because it's basically like going to Calgary to go to Heartland for me because it's so far.
Yeah.
But I've heard of it. It's a bit different.
Yeah, because no one works there. And you just go in and it's honor system. I'd imagine there's cameras and stuff. There's a lot of vegetables in there, so don't rob them. But it's just, and you tap your card and off you go.
That is really cool.
So I would really like that. Yet again, I don't go to Heartland much either. Maybe they should put those in every neighborhood, right?
I'd be game.
Yeah.
Sign me up.
I don't know who fills it up, though. I don't think it's those guys. It's probably somebody else.
So it's probably not the
shout
lettuce
out
people.
to the farmers market people.
Because they have much more than just lettuce there.
Yeah. They have all kinds of vegetables.
Did the lettuce people just make lettuce?
They make lettuce mostly right now. They are starting root vegetables. We're talking onions and carrots and those kind of things. And they're saying if they get bigger, not only will they bring in more vegetables, but they want to sell this kind of technology, like how they built it and how successful it was, to be hyper local produce. So then you might see High River bring this in, Strathmore and stuff, because the footprint is really small. It's solar paneled, so it's not like you need a bunch of wires and all that stuff. And they're growing year round. And I just think it'd be so cool and hopefully help us out at the grocery store if it was local, right? Because we're not paying transport and gas and all that stuff, right?
Wouldn't it be cool if they even got to the point where you could have like a smaller version of one of these sea cans and just put it in your backyard, and then you could just have all of your own things in your backyard?
When was the last time you kept a house plant alive?
I didn't say that this would be for me, but somebody far more talented than me. You know what I mean? And then and you could have all of your everything, your vegetables for the whole year, just right there in your backyard.
And it all like grows along the wall. Right? Yeah. So it's not like it's like a sprawling thing.
It's not really like a greenhouse.
It's covered with lettuce along the walls and like watering things. So maybe it is foolproof. Maybe it's unmanned. Maybe the robots are growing.
See, I could do that. If it's like AI or something, sign me up.
Yeah. Well, we should go do a tour. They might not let you in anymore because he said you're going to steal their lettuce.
I just want a little nibble.
Just a little bit. But yeah, you can read that story up on CochraneNow.com. And one thing I'm finding this week is all the cool, not your average sports wins we're getting right now. These are awesome sports, but definitely not your hockey and soccers and baseball that we always hear about. I want to talk about Riley and Cara. Mm-hmm. They are two Cochrane Irish dancers who are representing not only Cochrane, Canada at the World Irish Dance Championship. I didn't even know that was a thing.
It's so cool. So like everybody is familiar with like tap, ballet, jazz, hip hop, like that sort of traditional dancing, North American traditional, right? Irish dancing, I've never really been exposed to that. So I was actually looking at their photos of their costumes. The amount of beadwork and sequins, and they wear wigs that are like these super curly, intricate wigs, and then they have like this amazing headpiece that they put on. And I know, like, I'm familiar with Highland dancing, so it's kind of like that, but a little bit different, where they do a lot of like the river dance, like bouncing around and stuff. But they also have different types of shoes too. I was listening to some of their interview and whatnot. So they kind of have shoes that are similar to tap shoes and some that are similar to ballet shoes because it's kind of a softer shoe. And it's just really cool. You can't even do it. They don't train in Cochrane.
Oh, really? That was my next question.
They're from Cochrane, but they train in Calgary like 30 hours a week or something ridiculous. Because you'd have to be a world champ, right? Yeah, very cool.
No kidding. And just the amount of effort. And yet again, just some Cochrane ladies who are passionate about Irish dancing and, of course, representing us in the World Championship.
That's
in Montreal.
Cool. Yeah.
That would be a cool show, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even if Cochrane wasn't in it, like maybe Cochrane can host the World Championship of Irish dancing next year.
Yeah.
Bring it on.
I don't know where.
That'd be a good show.
But yeah,
outside.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Mitford Ponds.
Yeah. Hopefully it's not raining or windy.
Exactly. And keeping on that note, we have the Cochrane Water Ninjas. And you're probably thinking, oh man, that's your swim team. No, that's the Piranhas. The Water Ninjas. Or the Comets, yes. Yeah. The Water Ninjas are actually professional, athletic, competitive lifeguards. And when I say lifeguards, you're probably thinking, oh man, they're older. And some are just kids.
Like young kids.
And they just broke 13 records at a meet and defended their provincial title. Because yet again, I don't even know how you would get into this. Like, I know they train down in Cochrane, but just kids being like, you know what? I want to save people competitively. So cool.
It is really cool. Actually, I was talking to one of my friends who her daughter is, I believe, 11, and her daughter's a water ninja. Oh. So I don't know if she's at the competitive level just yet. Yeah. But yeah, like young kids are involved in this. And I'm not sure at what point they're really like, they haul around like these heavy dummies and they're doing these different drills to save and rescue different things. And so I don't know, they've probably worked their way up and stuff, but very cool. And like amazing life skills. Like think of the things that they could do with all of these skills later in life.
Yeah, right? Like that is also could lead to a career in not just like lifeguard, but there's so many water-based, not really here. You probably have to leave Cochrane.
Yeah.
But it blows my mind yet again that these sports are really flourishing. Obviously, we're having all these champions coming down.
Yeah.
And it's just a section of Cochrane that if you don't know, you don't know. Right?
Totally. And like you'd want to be hanging out on a boat with one of these water ninjas. Yeah. Like it's wise to take one with you, right?
Yeah, just these kids. And they're dragging these heavy dummies. Oh. It's really cool. It's one thing to know how to swim and swim well. It's another thing to be able to like save lives competitively.
Yeah, very cool.
modeling. You call it a sport?
I don't think it's a sport.
No, it could be.
I wouldn't say it's a sport.
Maybe they're walking.
I'd say it's more of a career. Yeah, but not all models walk the runway. Some models just pose for photos or magazines.
But they're usually pretty good athletes, right? Because they got to keep up with all their fitness and stuff.
For sure. Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that. They have to be athletic. But yeah, I think it's a very difficult industry to get into.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Especially, yet again, from Cochrane. We got to talk to Hayden, and Hayden is 21, 22.
Early 20s,
Early 20s.
St. Tim's grad.
St. Tim's grad, grew up in Cochrane. She is now walking runways around the world. We're not just talking, she's a model in Calgary. No, she just got out of Europe's Fashion Week. She's going into Vancouver's Fashion Week. She was on the cover on the cover, I believe, of Vogue Mexico.
Yeah, that's it doesn't really get much bigger than Vogue.
No, exactly. So, and she's just listening to her interview. She's just humble. She's just like, yeah, how did you do it? I just worked hard, right? And I think anyone, if you just grind long enough, and you can do it too.
Yeah.
And she's like, I'm not too busy, as she was listing off all these different fashion shows she's at. It's like, my goodness. And I believe her mom and her family are still in Cochrane and probably just tickled pink. Right?
Well, we actually all went for lunch as a team the other day, and while we were out for lunch, you had to pop out. But Noel, who interviewed Hayden, he was sitting there, and Hayden's mom came over and talked to Noel for a little while, and it was just really cool. She just recognized Noel's photo and talked to him for a little while and talked all about Hayden and shared some stories and stuff. And it was so really cool.
Right? Yeah. And it's just, it's so cool that a town of our size can just spurt all these crazy cool people. We had a stunt coordinator who just won for the movie Prey, the Predator movie.
In the horror film industry.
Yeah, right? We're winning awards, we're breaking records, and we're just doing it in Cochrane.
In little old Cochrane.
Exactly, right? Best town in the world. That is it for us today, though. If you want to catch up with everything going on, you can grab this on all your favorite podcast services and watch the video on YouTube. Until next week, talk to you again soon.
Yeah.